packed up Leroy's car. He has a 1993 Pontiac Grand Am. Jack sat up in front, while James, Ellen, and me sat in the back. The car is a full size, so we sat comfortably. Ellen and James sat by the door, so I was in the middle. We stopped by the store to get some sodas and snacks. It was almost 8 when we left the store. So, the Amargosa Bridge. There's a lot of myths and folklore about the bridge. The facts I know about it are as followed. It was built in 1900. It goes over the Owl Creek, and it's about 20 or so miles from the Grove. The bridge was decommissioned and abandoned sometime in the 1940s. Nowadays, it's covered by trees, and the county roads have been rerouted around the bridge. It sits on private property. Now, the tales of the bridge. Because of its remote location, all kinds of myths have been told. This tale is the most known. Back in the 1940s, a woman was crossing the bridge with her infant son. The water in the creek rose and swept away the woman and her baby. The woman survived, but the kid was never found. This is our local story of La Llorona, the Wailing Woman. It was told throughout the 60s and 70s people would go missing near the bridge. Even in the 80s, 2 teenage kids went around the bridge. They were never seen again. I don't know how much of these stories are true, but all of us around the Grove believe in them. We tend to stay away, though. Call it superstition or whatever. I'm sure every town has some local ghost tale. Either way, here we go. We all brought 2 20-ounce sodas and a bag of chips for the ride. Leroy played some rock music while Jack and him spoke in the front. James was looking out the window. He was probably nervous. Ellen was looking out the window and would look forward at times. I looked at Ellen's arm and noticed a bruise. "Hey, Ellen, are you okay?" "Yeah, just that stupid girl messing with me." "Same girl from the last time?" "Yeah, that piece of crap grabbed my arm. I should have hit her, but she had a group of girls with her." Ellen had a sworn enemy. Her name was Nancy. As far back as I can remember, they always hated each other. "It'll be okay, Ellen. She will get what's coming to her." "Yeah, you're right. I should be the one to put her in her place, though." "Yes, but you will get into trouble and you don't need that." "Okay, Andy," she said sarcastically. "So what do you think about the bridge?" "I don't know. I heard a lot about it. May seem weird, but I have always wanted to check it out. This is kind of cool." "Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. What do you think, James?" "Huh? Oh yeah, it's cool." "Hey, dork, don't be nervous. We're in this together and we all got each other's back," Ellen reassures James. "Yeah, I'm good. Glad we're doing this together," James said with a smile. The 3 of us laughed in the back as Jake and Leroy also laughed at their conversation. As we all left together, Leroy turns up the radio and yells, "Yeah, let's do this." The feeling of excitement grips us all. As we go further down the road, the traffic seems to disappear. I believe we're about 12 miles outside of town, and I'm not too familiar with where we are going. Leroy turns off the main road, and then we're down some county roads. A couple of more turns, and we're down a different road. I look out the windows and it's pitch black. No city lights or any kind of light poles. I look forward and see a big dip in the road. We go through the dip. Leroy slows down. He turns a car around and backs into the large dip. He turns the lights off of the car. I'm not kidding when I say it's dark. All of us are quiet. We're looking at each other as the nervousness comes back. Leroy reaches into the glove department and pulls out 2 flashlights. "Well, guys, here we are." Our eyes meet in the rearview mirror and I ask him, "So what do we do now?" He turned on the flashlight to his face. "Let's go wake the dead." I heard James take a big gulp. Ellen made a deep breath sound. Jack was popping his fingers as if he were getting pumped up. Me, I just had a scared look on my face. Leroy let out a laugh and patted Jack on the shoulder. "Come on, let's go outside," Leroy said with enthusiasm. We all let out a nervous chuckle as we exited the car. I realized that the dip we're in is paved. It's not really a dip at all. It's where the Owl Creek runs through. It's a narrow road, enough room for the car to fit in and for us to gather around. The road is in flat on the creek. It's supported by 2 large, probably 6-foot-high culverts. There is thick brush all around us in every direction. It also has rails, I guess, so cars, or in this case us, won't fall into the creek. Luckily, the creek is dry. "Come over here to the passenger side. We can get a view of the bridge, Leroy tells us. Leroy and Jack have the flashlights. As we gather around the passenger side of the car, I'm not sure what to expect. I know Leroy has been here, but he didn't exactly tell us what he did, or if he saw anything. I was about to ask him, but James asked before I did. So what do we do? What has your experience been like over here? Leroy was flashing the light out into the brush. His facial expression was like he was trying to find something. Well, it's been about 4 years since I last been out here. Looks like the brush grew out. Anyway, the last time my friends and me were here, we heard a crying sound. Not like an animal, but a person. Ellen let out a soft laugh. Really, come on, Leroy. I know we have heard all the stories, but really that's the best you can do? Leroy looks at her with a serious look. I'm being honest, I wouldn't make that up. It scared the crap out of us. I'm telling you, there's some weird stuff out here. During the exchange, Jack had his light facing towards the creek. Hey, what is that? Look past the tree. Is that it? I look where he is pointing the light to. A slight reflection from the light cast back at us. Leroy then takes his light and points it in the same direction. Sure enough, we can see the old metal from the bridge. It was about 40 yards from us. Looks like you found it, cousin. That's it. Last time I was here, we had a better view. But that is it. James, Ellen and me said a collective wow when we saw it. Kind of crazy after all the stories here it is. Never did I think I would be here. I tapped Leroy on the shoulder. Okay, there it is. What should we do? It took a while for Leroy to respond. He stayed staring at the bridge. He almost had a look of horror on his face. Let's wait here a little bit, Leroy muttered out. Jack shouts out, Hey, we're here. Come out and show yourself. Ellen bumps his shoulder. Hey, what the hell? You're too loud. Oh, come on, no one is going to hear me. Take a look around, there's nobody out here. James has a little nervous shake. Maybe we should leave, guys. I don't like this. Jack looks over to James with a smirk on his face. There isn't nothing to be scared about, man. Jack shouts out again, Hey, hello. James is apparently scared. Ellen and me are mad that Jack is yelling. Leroy looks lost. Jack is smirking his life away and he yells again, Hey, come on, dead lady. Where are you? You! The only part of his yell that echoed back to us. Jack's smirk quickly went away. James' fear quickly became apparent. What was that? Why did it echo? Ellen looked at me. I could tell she was scared. The fear on her face made me scared. I looked to Leroy and his face went from loss to panic. Jack was standing by the rails. He stepped back till he hit the car. You guys heard that right? You heard the echo? I looked at Leroy. Hey, does it echo out here? Leroy turned to me. If it echoes out here, then why would only one word and not the rest of the sentence echo out? We all took a collective gulp. Then the lights on the car went off and on. It was as if the lock-unlock remote was being used. Ellen looked at Leroy. What the hell, Leroy? Why did you do that? I didn't do that. The remote is in my pocket. James, still scared and nervous, says out loud in broken words, What is that? He pointed to the ground. Leroy and Jack flashed their lights to the ground. At the bottom of the bridge, a thick fog begins to appear. The car lights flicker again. We look at the car and then at each other. Leroy flashes a light back to the ground. The fog is creeping towards us. Get in the car, Leroy says out loud in a nervous and scared tone. Leroy runs to the driver's side. Jack fumbles his way inside the car. James, Ellen, and me cram into the car using the passenger side door. James closes the door. The three of us are in the back and looking toward the bridge. The fog is getting higher. What makes it look creepy is the fog is only in the creek area. Also, there was no fog till we heard the echo. I realized something. Leroy hadn't started the car. Hey, Leroy, start the car, I tell him frantically. I'm trying. It's not starting, Leroy says, panicking. Oh my God, what do we do? Ellen says with a scared voice. James is looking out the window. He is rocking back and forth and muttering something under his breath. The panic has reached a high point. As we are yelling to Leroy to start the car, the fog grows ever closer. Then I hear the crank and a very slow engine turnover. Finally, the car is on. Leroy puts it in gear and we peeled out of there. I look back and see the fog cross over to the other side of the road. My heart is racing. I look around the car and see everyone with the relief look as they breathe heavily.